Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to show you another way that you can do your budgeting. So if you like watching these kind of videos, just keep on watching. So this was gifted to me by my goddaughter, and I believe she purchased it in Amazon. It's very pretty, and it comes with stickers. It's a budget book, and it's for a whole year. Of course, I try to teach all of my kids, including my goddaughter, everything about budgeting, and try to show them how to budget. So before she came to me, I usually wait for them to come to me. I usually don't push budgeting to people. And before she came to me, she had purchased this thinking it would be easier. It would have been if she had the concept of budgeting, I believe. Other than that, it has instructions on how to do stuff. It also gives you goals. So we went through it. I wanted her to still go through it and see what is it that she has. We did do it in pencil just in case she wanted to return it, but she said I can keep it so I can show other YouTubers how to do it. So that being said, she did put some goals in here, which it was pay off her debt, save for a car, build her savings. It comes with a little bullet journal kind of note-taking section. It also has like a financial strategy, and it's something for you to sit down and figure out, like, what actions are you going to take. So actions to earn more money, obviously maybe get a part-time job, do Uber, do Lyft, Grubhub, any of that stuff that gives you extra money, sell things. That's sort of like a strategy, and you can write it down. Other actions to cut out expensive, like maybe stop eating out, stop going out, just stop. No, I'm just kidding. That's sort of like a action to cut expensive. If you didn't know, now you know. Just stop, plain and simple. Then it comes with another bullet journal kind of strategy note taking, if you like, if you will. It also has a bill tracker. It's 12 months in here. Obviously when I went through this with her, it was September, so you can do it January through December, that kind of stuff. And then you can put your bills in here. So obviously she had to discover. You can put the amount that minimum payment that usually goes in, the due date, and you just exit or just do a check mark if it was paid. Same thing for cell phone. So and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots for bills, or you can split it and do just for 6 months for here for the bills and use up to 12 spots. So it's pretty basic concept of keeping a bill tracker. So to go back into mine and we can compare, is my bill tracker. We have several. We have this, which is my debt snowball, right? Or you can do one of these, which is just writing them down. Obviously I put the 1st and the 15th because when I get paid is twice a month, which is on the 31st, the last day of the month, whichever day it falls in, or the 15th. My husband gets paid bi-weekly, so we usually do everything as it comes in. So technically this is all of my bills. This is the way I keep track of my bills. This is my bill tracking. Obviously for January, I think I changed it up a little bit, which I think I just split it into bills, debt, and home. Oh, that's February. Wait a second, I went too far out. Yep. So bills, debt, home, same concept, how much you pay. I don't care about the due date because I I usually keep them in order as I pay them every month, obviously, which is like this. I always put whatever comes first up to the 14th and whatever comes up to the 31st. So it doesn't matter for me on due dates. Obviously, you gotta know them first. If you're starting, you need to know when your bill is due so you can know where it falls on the calendar event. Then I put balances instead of keeping them here like this. So once I do this, that's it. I'm not doing another one of these. And that's my sort of tracking my bills, right? I know that they all come out because my main account is only for my bills. So I don't need something like this that tells me, oh, it's been paid. I would know because if it don't clear the bank, obviously I don't balance when I'm doing the next week's budget. So I know whether or not they came out. And that's what tracking them here is on my bank register. So if I go here into the main account, this is my current month because we're still in December, I took out all of my bills up to the 31st. And then as I go, I check them off that they got paid. That's basically the same concept. So there you go. Savings tracker. They also have savings tracker. You can go in here and put, you know, how much you want to save, the date, the balance. I don't keep track of my savings because if I see that I have money, I like to spend it. So my savings, I don't balance. I don't do anything. The money comes out automatically because it's a cashless savings. It gets automatically transferred every time I get paid, so it's automatically out of sight, out of mind. Basically, for me, that's the kind of person I am. If I see that I have money, I will totally waste it. I will use some kind of excuse to use it. So my savings are only linked to transfer. They don't have any links to pay any bills. They don't have any links to any of my, like Amazon. I only shop on Amazon or PayPal. They're not linked to any of that stuff. And the reason why they're linked to just transfer back and forth is because you guys probably saw in my last video that I transferred from one of the savings into the checking so I can pay off a debt. That kind of thing. We also have saving, like 3, actually is it 3? I think it's up to 4 different savings. So I have a savings, my husband has a savings. What else do we have? Yeah, because I want to say we pulled out of one to pay the land that we paid in Tennessee. He has one that whenever we get together and we want to pay off a bill, he'll transfer money from that one, but technically it's sort of like his kind of savings, but we share the love. Or I should say we share the money. So we'll transfer back and forth from those. He saved with his money that goes into his personal cashless account, and whatever he decides to save from the money he gets, that's his business. I don't ask any questions unless we're like tight on something. Then he'll transfer money from his savings to the main account that we all share. And don't forget, we're married, so we share everything. I know the passwords to all his accounts. He knows the passwords to all of my account. He can go in there anytime and see that I have $0 in my savings because I just transferred it, or I think $5. Next is, oh, and then we have actually, yes, 3, because and then we have the one that we transferred over is also our emergency fund savings. So that saving is actually attached to the sinking fund savings, because they're all in different banks. Like I have mine in a federal credit union just in case we ever want to use the credit union for anything, and he has his with an online source somewhere. Plus we have a CD that we're trying to build up, and then we have the savings with the sinking fund. So that's an emergency. Then we can transfer very quickly from the savings to the sinking fund and then use that credit card to purchase whatever it is that we need to purchase. So we don't keep track of our savings. They say keep track. I am an out of sight, out of mind kind of person. So I don't go in there all the time to go look unless my husband needs to know. Debt trackers. So they also have debt trackers, which all it means is you put your debt, the starting balance that is started, the minimum payment, and then as you go, you're balancing out your balance. That is something that I already do, which is the same thing as my bill tracker, which is this. Every month I go in and I notice my balance. I don't put how much I pay because that's in my register. But this one in January is the same thing. I have a balance column. So I put minimum payments on everything, and then what's gonna happen is when I start the February budget, my January balance should be correct. So I will be entering the balances here versus this one. So I'm changing it up a little bit, just a little bit, but it's the same thing. Then you put in the payment and then your new balance. So you just take that amount minus whatever payment you made. That's your balance. Pretty basic math. And it has a few. This one has a few that you can go through. Then it has your monthly budget. Or is this your monthly income? Oh no, it is your budget. So here, the reason why I don't use these kind of books is because I like change. I get bored very easily if you don't realize. And these are the exact same thing every single month. So like if I go back here for her following month is the exact same thing. There's no changing it. And I like to change my stuff around because I'm crazy like that. But these are pretty basic. They have how much monthly income you have. They also tell you to put the amount on your savings. I don't do that because I don't consider my savings to pay off anything. The savings is to save, so I never put my savings amount in my budgets. You notice that we use whatever we get paid to pay off our debt, whatever extra we get. That's why we have the side hustles. Here obviously it does have the columns of actual and what you budgeted for. My stuff is pretty basic. Nothing ever changes. My mortgage is my mortgage. My electric, I don't know until you go into the bill to look at how much is my electric. So I don't do an actual budget. I want to say it's considered not an actual budget because I don't go in there and put what I think is gonna happen. I actually just leave a buffer. So if you guys noticed, I think it was last month when I was paying, I did my monthly budget. What I did was I ended up going in and I put everything down, and then whatever I don't know, because obviously the bill does not come in till after the fact that I did my budget, I leave the $500 buffer. So when I get to my budget, I call it my budget, but it's actually my register. So when I get here, I take what we have left. We take all of our bills out for the whole entire month. Actually, in January, I'm gonna do the half again, and then the other half, so you guys can see that kind of version again. So this is why I don't do these books, because I like to change things around. And then what happens is whatever I have left here, that's what we throw into our debt. So there is always 5 things that come out of our account that is not accounted for because of the fact that we don't know how much it is. But I always leave a gap. So I leave a $500 gap between here. That's why there's $500 left here, because of the fact that we wanted to leave a gap. Because don't forget that in November, I think it was, my husband decided to be bold and threw it out there and paid off one of the cities. So since we went bold and said, let's pay it off, God always provides. So that's why we didn't have any. We actually had enough to pay off that debt that we paid off. So we only had enough for the gap. So we left $583.38, well, $483.38. Because and then I still needed to pay that one city, and we only did 100. Because I only had the 583. So I didn't even get to throw anything extra to that city. The bills that we have that are actually, we don't know how much they are, is always between $500, which is always the water bill. You see it came out on the 8th, and that's always a variant. It's always less than 50, so I always calculate 50 for that. The other one that hasn't come in yet is T-Mobile, and that's always around $335. So you say 50, I always do 350. That's already 400. And there's another one. Vivint. I think it's Vivint. One of the Vivints. Yes. So here they are. Vivint, solar, T-Mobile, and the water. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That we never know how much is gonna be. So those we always leave a gap. So between the solar and the water, the solar I believe is the other 100, and that's where I get my $500 gap thing that I always put in there. But we're never worried, because and then after that, everything after that is deposits from side hustles. So that's why we don't really use these kind of books. One, we don't do budget versus actual. We actually do actuals. We don't do budget. We actual numbers. So we never have in a difference column, because there is no difference. Is whatever came out came out. So that's why I don't like these books. I'm sorry. If you like them, they work for you, great. For me, Then we have the daily expenses, right? So this will be if you have more stuff that's not mortgage, electric, gas, because to them this is what's important. After that, it's not really important. God is supposed to be first, so they don't even have tithing in here. Then you have the expenses. This is where you go in and you write down, sort of like a register. You go in and you spend $20 on blah blah blah. You went on Amazon and blah 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 blah. So these are your daily expenses of what you spent. And then you can continue. They have a lot of pages. So like for me, one of these will probably be my main register. But I wouldn't use this because of the simple fact that if I put it in here, I don't have a column to exit to say clear the bank. And then this one can be for sinking funds, and then I can color code it instead of putting home blah 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 here. You can color code it. And then they have your overview, which is now you're gonna look at everything you did here and you're gonna break it down here. And then what happens is you have to total your income balance. So it would be here, your total income. And if you want to do the savings, it would be the total savings, because they have it right here. So it would be total income. They're minusing the savings, so I guess they're not really calculating your savings. Then they're telling you equals what. So if you do, I don't know, let's say she put 120, let's put 50 for savings. So it would be for her, it would have been 1120 total minus the 50. I don't know math, even though I'm an accountant. You have 1070 left to budget with. So now this 1070, you're gonna go in here and budget here 1070 for all of this, and it should equal 0. Your total down here should always equal 0. Then you have to total your expenses. So you have the 1070, and then you have to total all of these expenses that you put here that was not part of your budget here. So that would be, do I have one? Let me see. That would be on my side, or the way I budget. It would be, do I have any? Okay, yeah, I do have some. So this is in my actual budgets, right? So all of this will go here and here. So all of this, can you still see? Yes. All of this, which is all of my bills, will go in here, right? And then I will total it up down here. Aha, total it up down here. That's the total that you would have there. Then my expenses will probably be the things that I did not plan for. So like these transfers that I had for $10.59, $28.80, that's additional stuff that I transferred over that was not part of my budget. Because if not, it would have been up here. Oh, you can't even see. My bad. How about if I extend you out so you can see a little bit more? Except it's too far out. But it would be in this column down here somewhere after I was done with all of my bills. So that is something that you did not plan for, basically. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. So now what happens is you will put that minus that, and let's go back in. So you have the income minus your savings because you're trying to save equals your budget. Now you have to total your expenses. And then let's say your total expenses came up to $10.60. That means you have $10 left. Now they ask you personal questions that you need to answer to see if you are okay with your budget. It says, did I meet my budget? If not, why not? So like to me, this question would be if it was a negative 10. I didn't meet my budget. It should be 0. This 10 should either went to savings or it should have went to one of my debts. Then it tells you things that you can improve and your biggest wins, meaning maybe if you did more and now you're more positive in here. So my biggest win is to have an additional $10, that kind of stuff. So to me, that's what that means. Then here you have an empty page, and then now it starts with the next budget. So what happens is this $10, because we didn't use it anywhere, comes from here and it goes here. Then you have all of your income. So then now you start fresh again, $11.20 if that's what your income is, and then you just start all over again. So these books are good if you're beginning and you don't like to, you know, color or do what I do. Just do it page by page. These are good. They're not bad. They're pretty cheap. I want to say they're less than 20 bucks. I've seen them on Amazon. So, and it has 12 months worth of stuff. It even has a Christmas spending tracker somewhere back here, I heard. I saw, yeah, a Christmas budget. So that's kind of cute that it has a Christmas budget. Besides that, if you do a lot of obviously expenses, you might need more than the 4 pages they give you. I think these 4 pages are actually pretty good for me. They wouldn't exceed my expectations, so that's not bad. I hope that made sense. And if you loved the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe.